the CPS reports. Today we're doing our recap of UFC 297, Strickland versus Dricus Du Plessis. With me, as always, is the Jedi Mind Tricks. Jedi, how's it going?
Good, bro. I'm just glad that the whole world weet wat ons weet nou.
Bruh, that man made me cry. No cuck, not a word of a lie.
Ja,
As soon as Dricus said that line, South Africa, no weet hulle wat ons weet. When he said that, I was literally in tears. Somebody's on the phone with me.
yeah, no, it was crazy.
Myself and somebody was doing a video call or watching that last round. Tyler was sitting next to me. We were doing an interview with, they were doing an interview with Dricus, and I mean, the whole time, bro. Tyler's like, you okay? I say, I'm just overwhelmed, my brother. I'm just overwhelmed. That's all.
Hilarious.
Big ups to Dricus. But anyway, let's actually start with recapping that fight, because it's a phenomenal thing for South Africans in general. He fought, I won't say a flawless fight, but he fought for me enough to, and again, I'm removing this from a biased opinion, just as a fight context, and looking at it from around time. I'm going to go watch it again, put the sound off, watch it again twice. And yeah, dude, to be quite honest, I think Dricus actually did enough to get the scorecards in his favor. I don't know if you feel any different.
No, definitely.
Yeah, I just think that round 2, 3, and 4, I think Dricus did enough in those 3 rounds to say, listen, I'm the champion. Yeah. Round 1, he clearly lost. Yeah. Round 5, he lost as well. But I think 2, 3, and 4, Dricus showed a bit more to the game than what, especially what I said in the previous episode when I said that Dricus has got better control time. He throws more shots. He throws kicks that Strickland doesn't throw. He grapples. He always pushes forward. So he's using more tools that Sean doesn't use. But Sean does have that in his locker, but he just doesn't use
Sean
it.
he was throwing good kicks. He was getting up. He was doing a lot, bro. He fought really well. Yeah, I think it was a very, very close fight.
Yes.
But the blast power.
What do you think? What do you think? What do you think that what was Dricus doing enough to guarantee the split going in his favor? Because there's a lot of oaks putting out videos that saying it's a robbery, eh? So let's see.
So but on the split decision, I feel like you're always gonna get, some people this way, some people that way. For me, obviously, I mean, was there any doubt? Yeah, obviously, South Africa like to put things in doubt, and we take it out the fire again, like Proteas and the Fynbos, the resilience of South Africans. But yeah, I think he fought a really tough fight. He obviously showed he was going forward a lot. Definitely round 1. Okay, unlucky. He got beat up and lost the first round, but the second round, I feel like he was winning most of that second round was kind of the deciding point for me, because he won, I would say, 3.5 minutes to 4 minutes of that second round. And then, I don't know, I can't remember what happened, but he ended up on his back or something, right? He was on his back and then got up, and then Strickland started like laying some good jabs, which made the second round very controversial for some people. I can see that. But if you look at the majority of that second round was won by DDP. So, and then obviously the third, he outright won. Fourth round, I think he won 2. So for the absolute worst going into that going into the 5th round, I still WhatsApped you and I said maybe 2-2.
Yeah.
But obviously 2 judges had it 3-1 in the favor of Du Plessis.
Yeah, that first.
And then the 5th round was very competitive. Obviously, Sean Strickland came out super hard. Like he obviously wanted to win it, but you could see DDP was still in his smarts. You know what I mean? He was very aware of what was going on.
Yeah.
Good
fight.
fight.
I completely agree.
Jamaican fight.
I was in goosebumps though. Tyler also had sitting next to me. She was sweating, Jed, and she was like, "Yo, I feel nervous. She's sweating." I said, "This is what it is. It's a world stage." But the reason why I was faithful wasn't only because of the fight game, but when you take South Africa in a sport context and you put them on the world stage, we've never seemed to fold, only in football, literally only in our footy. But cricket, rugby, our combat sports.
Soccer guys. Bafana.
Yeah, Bafana is
Sorry, carry on.
our combat sports athletes, our rugby and our cricket folks, you put them on our Olympic athletes as well. You put them on the world stage, and what do? They come home with gold. We have it's just we do it all the time. And I'm just looking at the rounds and statistically round 2, 3, and 4 favors and this is on the UFC website. It's favoring Dricus. It's favoring, he's got high percentage landing of his strikes, even though I think he threw like 3, 4 more strikes to Strickland. Dricus' percentage is higher, which means he landed more. His takedowns, obviously, he landed more takedowns. He landed 6 of 9. That's brilliant. And that was all the way through round 2, round 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's very difficult to deny the metric system when there's devices and people that's monitoring to count those statistics. Because the eye test doesn't necessarily give you the most accurate result because you're watching maybe from a different perspective, or you're watching from a biased lens. So based on that and just looking at the whole fight, Strickland's jabs were supreme, supreme, brilliant jabbing.
You don't even know if he's hitting or missing, bro.
It was supreme, Jed.
It's so fast. It's crazy. It's so clean.
But I will say this. You can win a fight with straight boxing and MMA. We've seen people do it before. That completely boxes people out. But the jab, even though it was landing a lot, it didn't stun Dricus. It didn't make him get rocked and step back.
Yeah, he wasn't wobbled.
He wasn't wobbled. One of it. Where every time
but Dricus, it busted him up.
It swelled
it swelled him up.
It swelled him up, yes. But it didn't. Dricus had one cut on his nose, and he had 2 swollen brows. Every time Dricus landed a jab, or even when he switched on straight right jab and he landed that, you would see Strickland go back every single time. Or he gets dropped and he goes back, and then Dricus puts the pressure on him, goes for a takedown landed. So it's for the Strickland fans out there, I'm not hating on Strickland, but it's very difficult to deny the result to Dricus based on what we all just witnessed. He did, for me, he just did enough to earn that victory. Now the question is, does UFC do a UFC Africa event? Nah, they're probably not going to rematch it immediately. I think they're going to give it to Izzy. Because I also think Dricus actually took a lot of damage from Sean checking a lot of his low kicks. I think Dricus, because he was limping after the fight, he limped into the press conference.
Both guys was wearing it hard after that fight. I can show you that. Both guys took liquor damage, bro. It was a very entertaining, high-paced action fight, and it looked like 2 of those like buffaloes. That's like just ramming. It was like, they were just like trying. It was just head on. I eat, you eat, I eat, you eat. It was crazy, bro. It was crazy, and you could see both guys was not gonna give up.
No,
but neither gave up. You know what I mean? No guy really actually lost, other than on the scorecard, obviously. But neither of them gave up. Both guys fought to the very end. But you could see, for me, obviously, Dricus was in it more.
And
Dricus was in it more.
He also
had Strickland came out hot in that 5th round. But
he came out hot because he came out hot for me because I think Eric, what's his coach? Eric. I forgot Strickland's coach's name. Anyway, he told him, check if you want to make a decisive win, you got to go into this 5th round now and get that finish. But Dricus was just prepared.
They were hyped up.
Dricus was just prepared for it all, bro. He was just zoned in for this fight. That's what it looked like to me. He was just dialed in. He knew what the plan was, and he had, I would say, for about 24 minutes of that fight, Dricus had Strickland going backwards. He had Strickland going backwards. You're gonna fight from your back foot. You know what I mean?
It was a very odd fight from both sides for me, and I think both guys. It was. I can see how some Americans are saying that it was a robbery. If it went to Strickland, we would have been crying the same thing. We would have also be like, it's wrong. Especially like the Stellenbosch Mafia uncles that bet all the hard-earned cash on Dricus. If he had lost, it would have been crazy. But for all the people that did bet Dricus. Nah, that's what we do, South Africa, bro. Well done.
It was a good payout, yeah. It was a very good payout for the man who beat Dricus. But it's a good point that you make there, that especially in the context of the fight and how it went, if it didn't go in Dricus's favor, there would have been arms up and be like, what the hell's going on?
You would have been sad though. South Africa would have been sad.
Yeah.
Now everybody's amped going to work. Everybody's smiling, having a good time.
So yeah, let's see. I think give Dricus. I know he said in the post fight that he wouldn't mind a UFC 300. Okay. Just leaving Jedi sit. It looks like he's setting some kind of light or something.
Sorry, the door open here that was creating a thing.
Okay, no quarter. Now what I was saying was that Dricus did mention that he wouldn't say no to the idea of doing UFC 300 main card. But I think UFC 300, if I'm not mistaken, is literally only like 2 or 3 months away. And I don't know if that's going to be enough time for Dricus to do rehab and recover from this fight and then still put in a camp to take on Izzy.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be smart.
It wouldn't be smart. I think his next fight should be Izzy, but I don't think it should be UFC 300. That being said, we really don't know what the UFC is going to make of it, if they're going to guarantee Izzy, because now Khamzat is pushing for it.
No, my thing also is, who even said is he even confirmed for UFC 300?
He's not though.
So exactly, it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are speculating a bit too quickly, but I'm sure UFC 300 is going to be hard, obviously.
Well, I mean, the fights that are guaranteed in the UFC 300 at the moment is the Zhao Shannon and Weili versus, and then Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje, and now they're looking for the main card. They want to fill the main card for another title fight. So, yeah, I don't know if Dricus will be fresh by then, but if he does, I do think the best money move for UFC and for us fight fans is to make Dricus go easy in Africa, even if it's South Africa or if it's Nigeria, but do it in Africa. So
yeah, that's gonna be crazy, bro.
That's gonna be the next big thing. And if it comes here to South Africa, bro, we'll be buying our tickets way before the time. Way before the time.
Must. It's gonna be sold out so fast.
But before we move on to our next fight, I just want to end off this one with just giving a massive shout out to DDP, bro. You've really you've warmed the hearts of South African citizens. Honestly, you've given us a reason to be excited for doing things. Because you watch now, if Dricus defends a title maybe another 2-3 times, you're gonna see how many MMA gyms are gonna pop up in South Africa.
Yeah,
you're gonna see
exactly.
That's gonna be because now there's gonna be kids looking at us and thinking, "Oh my word!"
Yeah,
I personally feel like when I was fighting and competing with training with Ziad, I was thinking I wish that there was a bigger infrastructure back then. But now there's
there was nothing.
There was nothing.
There was nothing.
What were you gonna say?
There was nothing, bro. I was gonna say you can clearly see how many aunties that know nothing about sports. It was clearly supporting Dricus Du Plessis. It's everywhere. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful thing to witness. I took my laundry away yesterday.
Supporting the Springboks, but better. It's more exciting than the Springboks.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's got a big connection with the Springboks, so he's obviously brought all that eyes on him as well. You know, yesterday I went.
Victoria,
when the
basically the birthplace of the Springbok.
Literally, when the fight was happening, Tyler was in our complex group chat, and then a lot of people complaining. Wow, people shouting at 6 o'clock in the morning and drinking and going on and blowing the hood in the car horns. I'm like, you're not even wasted. What was just going down now, bro? Dricus was changing the world for South Africa, bro. Put us on the moosey map.
Yeah, nah.
But anyway, big up TDP. Anyways, I don't think Sean Strickland's out of it. Sean Strickland's still going to be there amongst the top 5 for sure. So let's see what happens in that middleweight division. And for now, we've got a South African king there. Moving on to our co-main event, which I thought was also a really entertaining fight. I'm noticing a lot of like fans, not necessarily like fight pundits, but fight fans are giving they're giving a bit of a negative viewing on this fight. It was a bit boring.
Yeah, so
and I don't understand how you can say this fight was boring. What? This fight was lit, bro, from round 1 all the way through.
I don't think this fight was boring at all. I think it was a very entertaining and tough fight for both ladies, but clearly you could see Beuno Silva was just tied into that fifth round because she's carrying so much weight. You see how big she looks?
She
Oh
looked a
my
bit,
word, bro,
she
she was
looked,
massive.
which
She was
which
massive.
I felt was a bit unnatural because I don't remember seeing her that big in any of our other fights. I thought she packed on her bit, she too much. Because Raquel, let's be fair, Raquel is the solid bantamweight, bro. She's not small. She has to
Mm,
cut weight to make
mm, mm.
bantamweight, so she's pretty
Bro, and that
intense.
lady, she Beuno Silva looked like another division compared to Raquel. They didn't look like they were in the same division.
Yeah,
She looked
yeah.
like she was a featherweight.
She looked bigger. She looked bigger.
She was
Yeah,
she was
she
massive,
looked
bro.
she looked bigger.
Yo, that's why she was dominating like it in the grappling.
I think round
And you
one
could
and
see the
two.
power, like when she kicks. Her kicks is insane. Hard
Yeah.
kicks.
Beuno
Hard kicks.
Silva, yeah,
Um,
she
yeah.
was relentless with her offense on 1-2. I think because it was the first title
Yeah.
fight, she experienced her first adrenaline dump at that level. What do you think?
Yeah. Nah, you could see it.
Yeah, I think she got a dump after round two, and I thought, hey, this is what we said was gonna happen. We said we don't know if this woman can go,
Mm,
especially the Brazilian fighters. No, not discriminating against Brazilian fighters, but we've noticed in the UFC that they don't necessarily have the gas tank to go the full five. Well, we seen it.
yeah.
What's
Well, they're just too big, like strong.
they
They're
just
too
took?
big for that weight division.
Yes. Look
You
at
know what I mean? That's what
exact
I see at least.
Pantoja, another one. The Oaks they circled to
Mm,
complete the 5 rounds. But anyway, this fight,
mm,
I think Raquel and Amanda Nunes said when she gave up the belt, saying, "Rocky, where are you? Come, this is your chance now. I'm giving up the titles
mm,
here.
mm,
I see you as the next queen." And
mm,
Rocky, for me, what I saw in that fight was 10 years of experience versus a hard prospect. Do you disagree?
Yeah, no, exactly that. Exactly that. And uh, bro, in the first two rounds, you could see, yeah, this Beuno Silva is coming in hard, bro. She was coming in hard. But um, she just couldn't finish that early, especially with the
Yeah.
chokes. I think she tried, but
Boss, yeah.
you could see that Rocky wasn't going away. You know
No
what I mean?
ways.
That you would have to put her out. She was gonna
Yeah.
have to put her out, which obviously she survived and rallied back and won that last 3 rounds at the
Yeah.
pace of, you could see Beuno Silva didn't even want to get off her back. She was just
Yeah.
laying there
Yeah.
for a long time. She was like, I'm not gonna, the urgency for her to try and win the fight wasn't there. You could see she was done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It became like just, I'm gonna beat you up now in this last round.
Yeah. I think
And
I
yeah,
DC called
nah,
it.
she fully deserves it because she's come a very long way. As you say, 10 years, it was a 10-year
10 years.
journey for her. And the next fight is really gonna be the fight, obviously, that the fans want to see. But for now, she is the queen and she must enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the rounds here and the statistics of the round. And other than round one, round two, three, four, five, Rocky just outnumbered her. Strikes, takedowns, sub attempts,
Yeah.
reversals.
But you,
Yeah.
dude, I don't
Yeah.
understand why she kept trying to grapple with her on
Yes.
like
Yes.
clinching and stuff. But I was like, what is this lady doing? But evidently it worked in her favor afterwards because she was forcing Beuno Silva to use
Mm.
all of that muscle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Depleted.
then she just died out.
What's Mayra definitely depleted the gas tank too early. Now, that being
Yeah.
said, now Rocky, I don't think because it almost felt to me, like Rocky was just trying to secure the win. Because there was the moments in round four and five where she could, if she just had to move a little bit more inches with her arm triangle, she would have actually choked her out. She would have finished the fight. Moya
Mm,
wasn't gonna defend it, but she didn't. She held the full mount, and I was like, this is actually just maintaining this pressure. But she could have just switched the
mm,
transition, the move, and she would have ended the submission. Why I'm saying this is I personally feel that Juliana Pena is a better grappler or more relentless wrestler and has a better gas tank than Mayra. I think Mayra is a just striker. She's a really good striker and she's got good chokes. But what's that going to prove if you don't have the gas tank to use any of those tools? We know
mm,
now, seeing Juliana Pena going 5 rounds with Amanda, even though she got beaten, she showed that she has the gas tank to go the 5 rounds. And I personally think that Juliana might be a better grappler than Raquel, but I think Raquel is stronger and a much slicker boxer than Juliana Pena. So that for me should be the next
mm.
fight for the bantamweight title. Is Raquel Pennington versus Juliana Pena.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, that was what everybody obviously wanted was the two of them to fight for it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely going to be the next fight, I think.
Has to be.
Yeah, it's gonna. I think both fighters can obviously win it. Obviously, I think Juliana is stronger. Actually, definitely a better grappler.
Better grappler.
Raquel, definitely better on the feet. I think Juliana is a better finisher. I think she's got more finishes probably than Raquel. That's why she I didn't expect her to finish the fight. Most of her wins I've seen her go to decision. I think
like
a couple of DAS chokes or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the decision.
I think what's going to be the decider there is obviously if Raquel can get back up from being taken down. Just like similar to what this fight was. It's going to be the same thing, just with a higher level person. With better skills. With better skills. For Beuno Silva, I almost look at Beuno Silva like it reminded me of that Kat Zingano and Amanda Nunes fight. It was similar to that for me in some ways, because I can see Beuno Silva coming back and being a beast in 3 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She looks hectic. She just needs to figure some things out, I think.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you there. I think this is going to be a good lesson for Beuno Silva going forward. Taking an L at that level is like, okay, you thought you've gotten far enough to get there, but then you realize there's another couple of kilometers that you're going to have to go before you get to the actual destination. So I think that's what this fight has taught her. I do think that the Pennington versus Pena, I think that's going to be a much closer fight than this one. And that's also a very good description that you brought up with Amanda Nunes and Kat Zingano, because Amanda did that. Amanda was smoking Kat round 1, round 2, and then Kat went and finished it in round 10. It wasn't even a 5-round fight back then. But big up Rocky, let's see how long she's able to hold on to the belt, because I do think Juliana Pena is gonna come back with the vengeance. Even though I don't gran her, she's gonna come back with the vengeance for sure. Moving on to another fight, which literally what we're talking about with not finishing the fight, not finishing your plate, might go against you, and that's what happened in the fight with Magny versus Malott. Malott coming in undefeated, hot prospect, going in hard, just putting on the place. He was going fast on 1 round 2, and I was talking to Barriault now, and I was telling Barriault, I think Mike has got a lot of good skills, and he's fast and he's strong, and I've seen him fight. He's a very aggressive fighter. He's always finishing man and round 1 and round 2. So, but I haven't seen him go further than that before. So I said to him also, Babu, another thing with Mike is he's not taken an L yet. He hasn't entered the territory that most champions have entered, where they've taken their beatings, they've taken some bad knockouts, submissions, come back, and then now you really are the fighter that you wanted to be. Mike has never tasted that. And then fighting someone like Magny that has got so many fights under his belt and so much octagon time.
That's what I was thinking also, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It felt like, Scott, if you don't actually finish Magny, I think this man's going to put on the pressure. And then you could see the middle of round 2 going into round 3. I was like, Scott Neil's going to start turning it on this guy. And that's exactly what he did. And then he ended up getting the finish in round 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think Neil wasn't afraid. I think in that Ian Gary fight, he was unsure of his abilities and what he was going to do, what he was capable of doing in that fight.
Yeah.
Because I think that Ian Gary dude and the hype and the media just kind of shelled him up.
Yeah.
And in this fight, I think after the first round, second round, you could see he was a lot calmer and the confidence was there. He wasn't like, okay, like he wasn't like a deer in the headlights, I guess. You could see the dude wanted to fight.
Yeah.
So there was less fear. There was definitely less fear.
Yeah.
But
I also think that
a lot of people didn't have him winning, and he obviously won. So
yeah. And unfortunately, I saw the betting it was plus 3,500 for Magny to win. And with a finish.
Really?
And you get no cuck. I saw it this morning before I left the top tile. I was watching some recaps, and this guy was saying whoever betted on Magny on that night to finish the fight was plus 3. look there, and then he won by finish. I think also what was a big point to point out for this fight was that when Magny noticed that he took Mike's best shots, his leg kicks, which was working in round 1, and Mike's uppercuts in round 2, and it didn't finish Magny. It didn't even drop him. I think Neil realized you can't go any further than this, bro. This was your best, and you didn't even hurt me. All right, now I'm gonna put you out. Experience again. Experience trumps, and also a big point to make out is that Mike was the last full homegrown Canadian fighter on the card to get the Canadians a win, and he did.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
What happened there now? I just disappeared.
The recording stopped for some reason, and then it came back.
Just because we lost signal, looks like.
Signal.
But that's fine. The episode is still going.
No
problem.
Yeah, okay.
I can see on my side that it's still going, yeah. I just want to pull up my stats here. Yeah, that meant that Mike losing that fight meant that all the main Canadian fighters on that card lost. Yeah. Only two.
Yeah, shame. The brothers came in and destroyed the whole night.
But only 2 Canadians won, and it was a 2 women. Yeah. Anyway, so tough loss for Mike. Took his first L. It's fine. You will grow from it. But big ups to Neil Magny for sure, putting on that class. Not a single person thought that Neil was going to pull out the win, but he did.
Yeah, no, people were writing him off completely. Sure, but you could. I mean, if you were a guy that went by stats and you look back, even though that guy was undefeated, you would, on stats wise, you would still pick Neil.
Yes.
But if you watched, obviously, them fight, yeah,
it's definitely.
Anyway, clearly what happened. Big ups to Neil.
Okay, we've got 10 minutes left for this episode, so let's just brush through the other fights that was happening. A fight that I wasn't too keen on to begin with, but obviously it's on the fight. I watched it on the card, so I watched it anyway. Was the Chris Curtis versus Marc-Andre Barriault and or Barriault, and that was for Chris Curtis. It was actually one of his best fights in his career in terms of his statistics. The amount of shots he put out and the amount of shots he landed was quite in there. But neither fighter looked like they could finish the fight. Neither guys looked like they were going to hurt each other. They were landing stuff, but no one was taking really any rock.
Sorry.
No quarrel.
Neither.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, neither guy couldn't finish each other. It was weird because at the end, when they read the scorecards, all the judges had it 3 rounds in favor of one guy. All the scorecards was 30-27, 30-27, 30-27. But obviously, 2 went into the favor of Chris Curtis and 1 to Barriault.
Yeah.
So it was weird for them to score all 3 rounds in the favor of one guy.
Yes, and then still say split decision at the end, which was so weird.
Yeah, like what fights are you guys watching? If you can score all 3 rounds in the favor of one guy when it was such a close fight.
Literally, bro, it wasn't one-sided at all. It really wasn't. But you know what? Big ups for Chris.
Yeah.
I don't understand how the man was a ranked fighter. But anyway, because he never really fought the ranked fighters. But okay, he's now moved up the ladder again.
And he just lost against Calvin Gastelum.
You see, so yeah, again, Mark, unlucky. That's what happens when you leave it in the hands of the judges. It was a very close fight. But okay, good victory for Chris. That takes him up, and now he can take on the next fight. The fight that I really thought was a bit fishy in terms of the judging was the Arnold Allen and Movsar Evloev. Yeah, very, very fishy, bro, because I thought that Allen actually did really well, even though Movsar's takedowns were there, and he did land a couple of good stuff on Allen. But overall, the arc of the fight and everything, all the statistics did favor Arnold. And so I was like, why did they give it to this man? Is it because it's maybe make money out of this by keeping him undefeated? making him fight, because now his ranking is going to be very high, and he's now basically in the top 4 of the featherweight division. So he's basically calling out
From 9th.
Bruh, he's basically, because Allen was ranked 4th. He beat Arnold Allen. Max Plessis is going to fight Justin Gaethje. So that means the next person would be Yair Rodriguez or Josh Emmett or Ilya Topuria or even Volkanovski. That's the Oaks that's on his radar now. He's no longer, he skipped everyone else after beating Allen. And that's what I think they were trying to do. If you take an undefeated fighter that's now 18-0 and going up against the top 4 of the featherweight, that's going to bring fans to the fight. You know what I mean? But I do think that he lost against. I do think he lost though, even though he landed 5 takedowns. And Arnold was the one with the submission attempt. Arnold was the one that had more control time. He had more significant strikes. He was more explosive. He was dictating the pace. Because the wrestling that Movsar was doing was defensive wrestling. He was doing it just to get Arnold away from the pressure, from going back against the cage.
Yeah.
Wrestle, reset, stand up, go again. That's what was happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I don't know. This guy just seems to win all the decisions somehow.
Just decisions.
all his wins is decisions, and I told you last week he just somehow finds a way to win.
You said
you
yeah.
know, I don't know if he's got some judges on his payroll or something.
Yeah.
But he ends up winning all the time. Always by decision. Always wrestling, blanketing people.
Blanketing people, yeah.
Um,
But okay, it's a win. It's a win.
He's not an exciting fighter. Exactly, that was what I was going to say. He's not an exciting fighter, but he manages to win.
Yeah.
I can definitely see him as a top 5 guy.
For sure.
It's just some people are just boring fighters, but they end up winning. I remember when Stephen Thompson first came to UFC, he was so defensive that people thought his fight was boring because they just couldn't touch him. He just evade so quickly and then stand there 1-2 side kick you and then evade the whole time. So people thought he was very, very boring until obviously they came around and he started beating people. But they thought that fighting style was boring too. And this guy and also Stephen Thompson went to decision after decision after decision. He wasn't finishing anyone, just like Evloev is now, but in a different kind of way by blanketing people. It's part of the game. It's part of the game, and I can definitely see once he get his skills together, he can be like a Khabib in that way.
Yes, I was actually gonna name drop Khabib in that because of his style. But Khabib was a bit more formidable for me. It was impossible to get him off you. Arnold Allen stood up every single time Movsar took him down. Like the way Strickland stood up against Dricus, it was the same way. Arnold just got the hand tie off, stood up, right, let's box again. And yeah, I think it was just weird. But anyway, he's undefeated, and I think that's what the UFC is banking on. Taking this undefeated fighter and moving him in. Because also, to be quite frank, the featherweight division was becoming stagnant because Max Plessis and Volkanovski was they were doing what easy and
just the 2 of them,
just the 2 of them, and I think they needed a bit of a shake-up in that division. So I think Max going up to fight lightweight just for that does open up a little bit of doors because Max was basically gatekeeping the number 1 contender spot. He wasn't getting beaten by these contenders, which was a problem for the UFC.
No, definitely, that's for sure. Yeah, as you say, Evloev, and all his decision wins are very defensive. It's like him kind of just shutting down the offense, but not really giving any damage to his opponents. I mean, he did hurt Allen in this fight, but not in a way he's not a finisher.
Yeah,
he's basically a security combat fighter.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Check here. We've got literally 55 seconds left of record time. So unfortunately, we don't have that much time to break down Brad Katona and Charles Jourdain. But wishing them well for the future. For Brad Katona, this is what he needs to be worried about because the UFC had him, let him go. Now they're bringing him back, and he took another L again. So, brew.
Charles Jourdain, man, that's hilarious. But anyway, 55 seconds, please, guys. We're
Yeah.
still trying to figure out the real name of Johnny Walker, the light heavyweight guy. Please, we don't know what this dude's name is. Please help us.
That's our time, guys. Let us know in the comments what Johnny Walker's real name is. For that, we're going to end our episode here. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to stay in touch, and we'll see you on the next one. Jedi, shout a lot, brah, and we'll do it again next week for the next one. Peace.
Peace, guys.